Hi, and welcome to Nocturne Gallery. We often think art changes because of major events, but sometimes it's quieter, just a new way of seeing. Today, we're talking about an artist who did exactly that. He fundamentally changed how Spain saw its own incredible landscapes. His name is Carlos de Haes. His impact on Spanish landscape art was huge, truly revolutionary. He basically opened the studio windows, letting in fresh air, actual sunlight, and the wildness of nature. Our story begins with an unexpected turn. Carlos de Haes was born in 1826 in Brussels to a family of wealthy bankers. His life seemed set, but when he was just 9, his family went bankrupt. This forced them to move to Malaga in southern Spain. They had to start over completely, getting into the textile business. Despite this family drama, young Carlos had a real passion for art. He started studying formally and developed a very precise, academic drawing technique. It was a solid foundation, but not a revolution yet. The revolution came later. De Haes started exploring landscape painting and learned about what was happening in France. Specifically, the painters of the Barbizon school were doing something radical for the mid-1800s. They were painting outside. This was possible thanks to new technology. Oil paints became available in portable metal tubes, and French easels started folding up. Artists could now go out into the fields and capture the light and atmosphere directly on the spot. At the time, the official art world in Spain looked down on landscape painting. It was considered less important than grand history paintings or portraits. It was a minor genre, a background decoration. When de Haes returned to Spain in the 1850s, he brought these modern ideas. This was a big challenge. At his first national exhibition, his work wasn't highly praised by the jury, but a private collector bought it immediately. This showed there was an appetite for something new. In 1857, despite being a foreigner, de Haes won a professorship at the Royal Academy of San Fernando. This was a huge turning point. The selection process itself was radical for Spain because candidates were required to paint directly from nature. This signaled that things were changing at the Academy. De Haes now had a huge platform. He wasn't just making his own art, he was shaping the next generation of landscape painters. He formalized his ideas and taught them directly to his students. In a speech, he laid out his vision. He said art was not just about copying reality perfectly. A camera could do that. Art needed to convey a place's soul. For him, this soul was the truth of the place, the real atmosphere, the specific light, and the character of the land, not something idealized. His career wasn't without challenges. Early critics found his work monotonous, but he stuck with his vision. After a 14-year break from exhibitions, he returned in 1876 with what is now considered his masterpiece, Canal de Mancorbo. But at the time, it was ignored by critics and won no award. This highlights how far ahead of his time his vision was. His true legacy is even bigger than his own paintings. It's his students, artists like Aureliano de Baruit and Dario de Regoyos. They carried his ideas forward and became the first generation of modern Spanish landscape painters. His emphasis on direct observation and capturing the truth became foundational. So, Carlos de Haes, the banker's son who lost it all, became the man who taught Spain to see its own landscapes in a new light. His story is a great reminder that making something modern isn't always about a loud revolution. Sometimes, it's about a quiet, steady insistence on looking differently. He challenged the old ways simply by being authentic and sticking to observation. He taught artists to find truth and soul right there in front of them, transforming Spanish art and paving the way for everything that came after. And maybe this leaves us with a thought. What if we tried to pause, step outside, and really see the world around us with that same deep, soulful attention?